is the problem not yours, right? Like, the cliche, like if you owe $5,000, you have a problem. If you owe 5 million, the bank has a problem. Where are you on that scale? I don't know.
I have never had a car loan before. This is my first car loan. So every car that I bought, it's we started big. But anytime I ever bought a car, whether it's a car for the channel or whatever, I always bought it cash. Because I'm sort of a Dave Ramsey fan, but whatever. It's I'm not down as far as he is down that path. But honestly, I hate owing people money. I hate it so much. So it's always at the forefront of my mind. I don't just go, oh yeah, well, it's not my money. Like my number one priority is to make as much money as I can so I can pay this thing off as fast as I can. And then after that, I can realistically, I can sell this thing for what I got it for if I wanted to. If I wanted to sell this to some rich dude that wanted to make furniture, it'd be worth at least that.
Have you considered that you might now become the guy if someone's got a supercar that's been damaged to like I could send it to that guy. He's the one that took that drowned McLaren and brought it back to life.
Of course, but I'd never do any work for anybody else because I'm no good at that. I can't imagine being on the hook for somebody else's $1 million anything. I wouldn't have anybody come to me with their 350Z, much less the McLaren. So I do this for myself. I do this just because I like learning and I like sharing it with people. But other than that, you should not bring cars to me. That's not a good idea.
Damn.
Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah, you are.
A little bit, yeah.
You got a lot on your plate. That is so much more expensive than I could have imagined this process would be.
Honestly, yeah. I'm flabbergasted. That's a big project. Like, if you tell me those numbers about a house you were building, I would be like, damn, that's gonna be a big fucking house, huh? 85 a big car. Mortgage.
So this car,
tiny car,
exactly.
Like this tall.
Yeah. So this car was, before I got it, this car was supposed to be the record holder for price on one of these things. So it had 315 miles on it. It had basically delivery miles. So it went up on auction, and I think it no-saled at 1.6. And the guy bought it for $2 million. He had it for 10 days, and then the storm hit. And then that's it. And then that's all she wrote. So the car had 315 miles, and I like to say 500 nautical yards.
Yeah.
It still does.
It's the fastest moving McLaren in water ever.
Over water. It was a pretty good boat for a little bit, it has a carbon
before
tub.
The fire.
So, before the electrical fire. No, but it was okay. It has a carbon tub. It kind of floated a little bit, and then the water got in and it wasn't so good anymore.
And from the very beginning, your intention was to, because all right, so I have a rudimentary knowledge of restoring cars and building cars. I would be like, McLaren stuff, everything in here is so expensive. Let's just put some Chevrolet shit on the inside. Let's just take a Corvette drivetrain and drop it in here. That would be my first move because I can go get everything off a shelf and just plug it in.
Yeah. So with me, that was, it's always an option to be like, all right, we're going to turn the back end of this thing into a Honda Civic. But I am really big on theming, and it would be a disservice to people if they didn't see that car, come back either as good as it once was or better than it once was. And it's really hard to convince people that you're going to make things better when the car is already so good and the car was so messed up when I got it. Yeah. So they're just doubting me on both fronts. So I think if we could get the car down the path to where it runs and drives, and then not only that, it is now faster and more agile and looks better and all that stuff, then I think we have a compelling story. But me putting in a Corvette drivetrain, it's fine to get the car down the road. It wouldn't be enjoyable. It would be it wouldn't be a McLaren P1. It would just be a Chevy Corvette in a kit car.
Exactly. But it would be easy.
It would be easier. So there's whenever I see you rebuilders on YouTube, they fall into a few different categories. So the first category is they do these rebuilds to be YouTube done. meaning that you don't see the gauge cluster when they turn this thing on. You know, when they turn this thing on, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Every single warning light is on, and they'll have airbag warning lights and stability control and blah, blah, blah. This thing's crab walking down the road because they didn't have it aligned. But it looks on camera, it's like a movie car. On camera, it's totally okay. It's, you know.
Like Pit My Ride. It's all,
yes.
It's all style, no substance.
Exactly. So, you know, when you find out like, oh, what these cars are actually like, oh my God, I wouldn't, that thing's a death trap. But you have other people, and hopefully I try to go more into this camp, but it's like, you know, for me, I hate having warning lights on the dash. I hate knowing that there's something wrong with the car. Like it'll bug me, you know, to the end of the earth. So every single car I have, like I'll take it to a show. I'll take it to, you know, the SEMA show, which is like this really big gathering of aftermarket parts. It's this giant thing in Vegas. And every year I bring a car there. I want people to go see it. You can scrutinize it. You can just look inside and see what kind of work I do. And, you know, and we actually drive these cars, and these cars don't, you know, they drive perfectly normally. They're not, you know, they don't have any weird driving characteristics. I let other people drive them on tracks, you know, stuff like that, where they're actually performing the way they should. We put them on dynos, you know, things like that. So if the car does blow up, you'll see it, you know?
Yeah.
I like that. That's really cool that you do a good job. I'd also be okay if you didn't and you were honest. And I'm thinking of Rich Rebuilds. Like a lot of his stuff is got idiot lights going off everywhere. And he's like, yeah, I would never give this car to anyone else. You know, like it.
Yeah. So Rich is a really good friend of mine. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I bought a water damaged vehicle one time after being promised a lot of things. And they're never the same. They're never the same.
No.
I wanted that thing to get stolen so many times, or burned, or blown up, or anything. I was just
all those things could be arranged.
What kind of Dodge Charger was it?
I was like, I was trying to decide between buying a brand new truck and buying this used truck, and the used truck was such a deal, and it was only like 4 years old. And it's like, oh my God, are you telling me I'm saving $30,000 by going with this one over that one? And like, clearly there were differences. Saving. I should have bought that $45,000 truck, and I'd have had that truck. But instead, I got
Dave
a project. Oh yeah. No. Instead, I got this project truck, and it was just, I don't know how many times, like transmissions and transfer cases and just little things. It would get these pinholes in the it would get these pinholes in the transfer case, and all the fluid would leak out. And before you knew it, it would ruin another whatever that fucking thing is, a major part. It would ruin itself.
The waternator.
The 4-wheel drive shit was always fucked. Like I had driven that truck all over the country and had no problems. Like to Seattle and back, like across the country, Atlanta to Seattle and back. And then like on the way home, like the last 25, 30 miles, we start hearing clunk, clunk, clackety clack, clunk, clunk, clackety clack. It sounded like something is that's spinning is occasionally like hitting another piece of metal hard. This isn't one of those little, do you hear a hum? Is there a little vibration in that front left axle? No, this is like Oregon Trail. There's an Indian in the fucking wagon tire.
Is this
noise.
banging giving you lower back pain also?
Yes. And I remember like, it was the first time we had to get home. I'm like, we're not stopping even for gas. I'm afraid that if we take it out of gear, it might not go back in. This is clearly transmission transfer case shit. But there was these hot hitchhikers. Like I'd never seen a lady hitchhiker, much less an attractive lady hitchhiker. And it took everything I had, Woody. It took everything in my body not to pull over, make Jeremy get in the back fucking seat so they couldn't see him anymore.
You could just trade places. Jeremy looks a little bit like a hitchhiker. Just
put him out on the road.
You're getting out here, Jeremy.
You could convert Jeremy to a hitchhiker and make room for these passengers.
But I went on that like 2,000-mile journey in that truck, and then in the last 30 minutes of it, the truck died. So it was like a horse that like gives you everything it has. It's like, I'll get you home, boss, but that's all I got. It was, and it did. But I don't know how many 3 transmissions I think I put in it.
Okay, was it at the same the same shop?
No. Oh, it's one of those things where like we were going from mechanic to mechanic, and it was like going to ghost hunters. It was like we had tried a Catholic priest, we tried a Jesuit priest, we gotten a Buddhist monk to come in and waves and hit a gong, and like I don't know this guy. They said
Rabbi
maybe
was
the
out of your
mechanic
price
would have been
range.
good. I really enjoyed
We wish you so much luck with your car.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, if you guys are ever in the Orlando, Florida area, please come by. So just come by. I got a guest house. That's actually where I am right now.
Nice.
So yeah, just you could stay with me and we'll drive some cool shit.
That's awesome. Thank you, man. For all our listeners, check out all of Freddie's links below. You can find his content there. And yeah, enjoy your evening. Thanks for coming, man.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Cool, man.
Bye.
Take care.
I really am going to tune in. I want to see how this car project progresses. It sounds wild. Like if it were a house that he were improving, like if he had bought, a house that used to cost $2 million to build, and he's putting like $1 million into it, and he's hoping to flip this thing. It's like, yeah, it's $85,000 a day or a month to the contractors, and then $6,000 to the bank, and I'd be like, whew. Don't worry, you'll flip it. The market will turn around. It'll be okay. But it's a car. It's a car. And he, look, he'd know if there's a market for it. He says there is. I'm sure he could turn around and sell the thing. But man, it sounds scary, right? If that was the only.
He knows what he's doing. I come up from this angle. He seems like a really nice guy. I want really good things to happen for him. I'm worried that this is a mistake, but this is his expertise, not mine. So
I bet he's making a ton making videos off that car, and
all of his videos get 1 million views or better.
Yeah. He's doing very well.
He's
so
doing
I'm sure it's doing good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel too bad for him then.
Yeah, he's got a good thing going on. I can see why. He's a charismatic guy. So
yeah.
cool.